RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Thursday night live stream. Excited to be back. And of course, as always, got more things worth talking about the anticipated social unrest and all the preparations being done by all the major retail stores, as well as how the mainstream news is really hyping this thing up in expectation for there to be some type of chaos after November 3rd. And so we will talk about that a little bit, as well as whatever else came across your radar today that you guys want to discuss when I open up the phone line. So as always, welcome. My name is Mike, the host of RTD Live Talk. And so any new viewers, let me know where you're watching from. Would definitely love to acknowledge your presence in the chat. And then we will dive into a couple articles and then open up the phone lines and let's talk a little bit. So let me check in. We got the Crypto Elf. It says the contact tracing bull crap is pissing me off. Yeah, me as well. And so got some recent developments here in this great state of Michigan, more surveillance and all that other good stuff like that, but to be expected. And so for those that might be new to the channel, you know, one of the 3 T's that I mentioned months and months ago when all this stuff started is ultimately what they want to do is to test us so they can track us, so they can tag us. And you know what I mean by that. So the 3 T's. And so clearly the whole idea of testing, we need to test. That's kind of phasing out some, and they're focusing on cases. And then now the tracking, the contact tracing, or whatever they want to call it. So in full swing. We got Victoria. How you doing? We got low blood pressure in the building. Solo, timeless bear. We got Nathaniel or O'Dane for real. Says if you ain't got your firepower yet, start looking to the black market. Very true. So it Mike needs to come with Oleg Black need $1 as their intro music. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll check that out. What else we got? Excalibur. We got Ravender. Okay, Philman, King, DJ. Okay, a couple people in the chat. Marty joining us. Mark Carl Art says 666 is coming. I'll probably say 666 is already here as far as how this will end up playing out ultimately. So, but yeah, that's what it is, man. Philman says question says you think they will put with previous metals illegal in the future. They will. Okay, let me make that. Says you think they will previous metals. They will make. Assuming you meant they will make precious metals illegal in the future. Philman, I don't think that they'll make them illegal just because I don't see them being organized enough or being able to come up with some type of legislation that would actually be passed and not be because also the politicians. They know the collapse is underway, so they're getting their weight up, as well as a lot of the politicians, I'm sure, are heavy in the crypto space as well. So they're not going to put themselves in a pinch. And of course, they can what all they're going to do is just tax it, basically capital gains tax, and they're going to find some way to make it very hard for you to walk away a winner as this stuff unwinds. So I see just heavy taxation ultimately, but not making it illegal. Timothy, how you doing, my friend? William says we got to get Mitch McConnell and the Republicans out of the Senate in November. Good luck with that, man. Good luck with any. Because as of right now, I got actually a video clip I want to share with you guys that talks about how there's orchestrated groups right now that's already prepared. They already are well organized, and they got a lot of organized intel operations, and a lot of people helping orchestrate basically the overthrow of Washington D.C. on the 4th. So I'm gonna actually start off with that. So for those that have not had a chance to check this little clip out, I think it's worthwhile. Ryan James says, "Quick fashion question: a 1/10 ounce of gold or a half of ETH?" Ooh, that's a great question. It all depends on what you have more confidence in the long run. And so no doubt both of them, I believe, will appreciate in nominal terms, but one is one that you can hold in your possession and use and move around with. The other one's on a ledger somewhere that you, outside of having it there in a digital form, and watching it go up in value, we'll see what you can do with it when it's time to spend it or whatever. So, but yet everybody, I'm assuming, have their own methodology. So, but yeah, my method overall, of course, to just get your weight up, man. That's etched in stone. Okay, enough rambling. Let me get into this first little video here. So I'm gonna actually play this here And so Millie Weaver, pretty big influencer in the alternative media space. I'm sure everybody knows who she is. And so I saw her, she posted this an hour ago, and it's kind of alarming because, as you guys can see here, it's a short little video clip where it just basically shows how well orchestrated, as it says here, the leftist protest groups are plotting on an election day coup aided by the Democratic Party, federal employees, and intelligence contractors. They plan to shut down and take over Washington, D.C. starting on November 4th until the inauguration day to force Trump out of the White House. So basically, according to information she shared here in this little video clip here, which looks like a Zoom call, and I'll play it. And so she's talking a little bit, but here you have individuals on an actual Zoom call, like orchestrating and plotting and planning how they're going to, what entry points. They got maps for the city, and they got all kind of crazy things planned, from November 4th all the way to end of January 21st, I believe it is. So think about that. That's November, December, and just basically 3 months or 90 days, give or take, of ultimate chaos. These groups out here are looking to create, therefore causing more unrest, more, basically burning of cities and you name it. And so once again, this a planned event of ultimate chaos is baked into the cake, no matter who wins, I believe. And so I would encourage you, if you guys haven't, take a look at that, follow her on Twitter or whatnot. But what amazes me, and then I'll stop ranting, open the phone lines, got a couple articles I want to share with you. But what amazes me is how it appears to be that every mainstream source is bracing for and preparing the public, preparing all the readers and viewers and listeners and those that are watching those shows for unrest. Like, there's no way we can escape that. Everybody is conditioned us to prepare for unrest as if like that's what they ultimately want. And are you surprised? Not at all. And so that's what I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on tonight. Expecting that after Tuesday, come wake up Wednesday morning, I would imagine there'll be no clear winner. Who knows? But what are you guys expecting to see on Wednesday morning moving forward? Depending on what area you're in, are you expecting to see? Because if you're in a Democratic city, more than likely, or a democratically controlled city, more than likely, that's where a lot of chaos will probably start first. And of course, they're going to start in the downtown areas and start looting and burning and rioting, and then probably head out into the suburban areas, however that plays out. But, I'm just curious to find out, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys anticipating on Wednesday? Will it be a calm? Will this thing blow over? Will Trump win? Will Biden win? Clear out? So what do you guys think, man? I'm curious to find out what you guys think. So I'm going to open up the phone lines and we can get right into it this evening because I'm curious. I want to know what you guys think, because ultimately there's no peaceful resolution to nobody accepting defeat. In a sense, everybody's going to contest no matter how it goes. Now, I saw a economist mention that this is the first time in his life of doing, of being a hedge fund manager for 40 years, where you have 4 or 5 things that are all trigger points to a collapse of the economy. He said the volatility index is, approaching alarming numbers. And then he's talking about this presidential election. He's talking about the bond market. He's talking about, the pandemic. He's talking about all this unemployment and all types of things. And this, he sounded to be very scared in that post he put up there. But anyway, enough rant. Let me open the phone lines. Give me a call. What do you guys think, man? I'm curious to find out. Let me cut the phone on so I can get some power here. And then also highlight at Rethinking the Dollar. And we'd love to read your thoughts and get your comments on that. Says JB says business as usual. A bunch of chaos like they want. Definitely. Ballots recount. Ballot recounts. So yeah, once again, the whole ballot situation, it's going to be weeks before they're able to iron all that stuff out. And so I actually saw, I think it was today, I think President Trump tweeted that he was disappointed that the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania decided to allow, I think, 3 additional days of voting via the ballots or whatnot. And then I think North Carolina as well. So once again, that just basically prolongs the people's ability to be able to count those ballots. So therefore, it's going to take time anyway. And God forbid, it's good to say that the ballots, the way this thing has been positioned, you can't rely upon those actually being truthful ballots, because they're going to be swayed, I'd imagine, more so towards the Democratic side, given that that's kind of what they want, and this whole cover up of a pandemic being the reason why it's easier to, send in a ballot as opposed to registering to go vote. But here in Michigan, speaking of which, of course, being bombarded with mail as well as text and all types of, advertisements for the candidates here. And one thing that caught me by surprise was not only today, I'll actually go to the article, that some things changed here in the state of Michigan. And so it looks like executive order that was passed months ago is set to expire today. And as of I think starting either Friday or Monday, I'm not sure either one, Michigan bars, restaurants must now collect names and numbers. So the whole contact tracing is ramped up even more. And so I think they've talked about this in other states, but this is the first time this has really gained some momentum and traction here, to where it's going to be one of those things where it's going to put more of a burden on businesses to have to keep contact tracing. And they're talking about they need a date, a time, your number, and your name. And who in their right mind going to be giving up that information? I don't know, but that's what it is. But let's talk. We got somebody on the call. We got somebody here. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Bob from Illinois.
Bob from Illinois. How you doing, my friend? What are your thoughts about this this planned chaos? Are you surprised, or what are your thoughts on it?
There's no surprise. It don't matter who wins. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
If there is an election, my thoughts on this, there's, of course, there's not going to be any clear winner at first.
Yeah.
And
no clear winner. So what are you anticipating?
No.
What's the best case scenario and the worst case scenario on Wednesday morning when we wake up?
Boy, that's really hard to say.
It's up in the air, man. But I know what we're being set up for. But what's the likelihood of it being the complete opposite, to where there's a clear winner? We'll wake up Wednesday, Thursday, there's nothing. It's calm in the streets, man. Wouldn't that be great?
Now, the only way I can put it is, no matter what, it's going to be a mess. And there's going to be chaos everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
It don't matter. Yeah, that's the way they planned all this.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all this Kobe crap.
Yeah.
There's no clear message anywhere, right?
Yeah. Just vote.
Yeah.
Like your life depends on it.
Yeah.
Okay, what that mean?
Confusion. This is all Satan, brother.
Yeah. Hey, man.
It's all Satan.
I agree, man. Hey, appreciate you calling in. Good to hear your voice, man.
Yep. You take care, man.
Will do. You too.
Yep. Bye.
Yep. Yeah, man. So that's the question of the evening, I guess. So, what are you anticipating on Wednesday morning? Will it be what we're expecting or a lot worse? And so, of course, the game plan is to make it a living hell. And so I see here on Riley mentions that Alex Jones mentions 79 days of hell post-election. And so once again, that is, think about it. That's to actually shoot for that level of chaos. We got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, we got New Year. So all those events right there will be different this year if those extremists and radicalists and progressive and the whatever we want to call them get their way. That's what we can expect in the streets. All right, missed a call here. I apologize. Let me get this right. All right, phone lines open. I apologize. Give me a call. Let's talk. All right, and also let me know in the chat what else is going on, and then we'll keep this thing moving right along. So I was talking about Michigan, and so I'm not, and I haven't been following much of the, the 3 T's, and of course you hear about testing all the time and the tracing aspect. Of course, it's state by state, but I haven't been following any other states. So I'm not sure, am I, is just Michigan late to the party or what? But this whole idea of having to actually collect names and numbers, like that's something that I don't really see businesses doing, but it's a good way of attempting for them to better categorize the population, so they can say that all it's going to do is basically play into their cases of, if you were in proximity of somebody that had it, they're going to say all 10 people in a restaurant or 30 people in a restaurant are contagious and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, let's talk. Let me get this call here. All right. Hello, caller. Which name are we calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's low blood pressure, Corpus Christi.
LBP, how you doing, my man? What's on your mind tonight? What are your thoughts about this?
Look at these riots, man. These are weird. Mm-hmm. You know, they talk about fake news. I think these are fake riots. Mm-hmm. I think the riots are real, but they coordinated. You ever notice how none of these riots are in neighborhoods where people are living?
Yeah.
You ever notice they're not burning anybody's personal house down? Because if that happens, Mike, you'd have a firefight. They'd be shootings. They just open fire on the crowd.
Yeah.
Anybody, you go attack anybody's home, a crowd of people, you're gonna have bodies piling up.
Yeah.
So this is all coordinated. They pick specific areas. Somebody's telling them exactly where to go and exactly what to destroy. Close stores that nobody's there.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I know this little clip I showed a moment ago with Millie Weaver. Within this little video here, she was actually playing a video clip of some organizers talking about. And they had maps and they had routes as to what cities, where the police stations were, the streets they were going to take. So there is an orchestrated event as far as how they're going to attack, and so they're basically saying that they're doing this up until, as it says here, the inauguration day. So. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process on their part. But yet, here's the thing: will the police be standing down? Will law enforcement stand down and allow those paid activists to do what they do, to the point where this would be unfortunately, this would be a great excuse to call in troops into certain areas to get more boots on the ground in the way of defending and protecting, federal property and all that stuff like that. And then something crazy happens to where it escalates beyond just defending federal land to it actually shooting into the crowd or rubber bullets or whatever. But this is the type of event that could escalate to something much, much longer than just a 90-day, distraction surrounding this whole election thing.
It's crazy, Mike. I don't understand it. They're so pissed off at the government. Why don't they go attack a federal building? Why don't they ever go attack a bank? You notice? They never rob banks. They always rob shoes. I don't know what's wrong with these people, Mike.
You ain't gonna get. I mean, they'll keep a bunch of those in the vaults no more, so you're not gonna get much. You may get 30, 40, 50,000 at best. You're not walking out with millions now because they don't even got enough paper in those vaults.
That's better than a pair of Reeboks or British Knights. You remember those shoes?
Yeah, I do, man. Yeah, man. This is this next Wednesday could be the beginning of how this was all designed to play out, to take us into 2021 and complete pandemonium, man. So, So here's another thing here. I'm not surprised that just today, Walmart announced that they're pulling guns and ammo displays due to civil unrest concerns. So, what does Walmart know that we don't know? Like, remember during the initial lockdown and when they were talking about all the major retail stores that were helping the government with the testing and stuff like that, all the stores that stayed open 24 or not 24/7, but all the stores that stayed open are the ones that benefit most during this pandemic. And they're the ones that got inside information as to what's going on. So when Walmart talk about, concerns of civil unrest, it's good to say they know that. That's why they emptying out the country of guns and ammo. So, yeah.
It's just nuts. I don't even know what to say anymore, mate. Keep your weight up, that's all.
Hey, man, same here, man. Keep your weight up, and as always, make sure you got some lead, because you never know. God forbid, but hey, it is what it is, man.
All right, Mike. Have a good night.
Appreciate you calling, man. Yep.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, man. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Appreciate that. I love my country. I appreciate the love offered to the channel. It says if silver was a viable option, the powerfully would allow you to stack zero. Would allow you to stack zero. They buy it all up or ban it. Wake up. Okay, so here's the thing. Once again, if the powers that be really had that much control, I don't think they would actually be able to buy it all up without causing an alarm to go off to where people would wonder why is silver being hoarded and extracted from the economy. On top of that, a good portion of the silver is used in electronics these days. So I don't see the governments and central banks as well as the electronic companies being able to come together to just keep all the silver to themselves to the point where it wouldn't be none available for the people. And of course, anybody who knows monetary history realize the importance of silver and gold as a store and as a hedge against credit and debt issued by central banks and governments. So once again, I don't think that wouldn't work, but they would probably try it, I'm sure. But I think you're probably trying to be funny with that anyway. So anyway, let's keep it moving, man. Give me a call. Let's talk. It says they go to corporate government entity, and only people who used to burn down houses was the KKK. Okay. Now, here's something that is probably far left field, but we can talk about it just because at this point, we don't know, but we're going to find out. But I remember, and I'm sure a lot of you out there remember as well, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, just hearing a lot of talk from the alternative media space about how the government was buying up everything, buying up ammunition, food, and so they were buying up everything as if like they were preparing for some type of doomsday. And so you got to think about this, the federal government and all their agencies, they've already years and years ago stockpiled. I think that was the year there's a drought of ammunition. I think it was like 9mm rounds or something like that just disappeared across the country. Who bought them? The government. So once again, the government and all those entities, they're well stockpiled for a long, drawn-out event. And so could this current, chaos, this intentionally being planned and helped by all those agencies and whatnot, no doubt we got a lot of people from the left that might be a part of the deep state that are a part of this. And this right here plays into, whether or not Trump is really releasing some things, exposing some things, and causing a shakeup in amongst all those entities, all those, 3-letter governing bodies that are really, suspect agencies anyway. And so calling out the FBI, calling out all those people. And just the fact that I'm hearing more and more about how if Trump wins, he's going to fire the FBI director. He's going to fire the CIA director. He's going to fire the attorney general. So if he's going to really plan on gutting the House, that right there could lead all those agencies to actually help the rioters because they don't want their dirt to be exposed. So therefore, I'd imagine a much longer drawn out patches throughout the country of chaos where eventually there's going to be certain areas where, National Guard be called out or whoever else might be called out. And then those troops, when they're called out, they might end up being in those areas a lot longer than we would like for them to be. And so here's something here I'll put up on the screen here. And so this is in Texas. So I think somebody shared something with me, but it says troops will be in position after the election, but only deployed as needed. So this is in Texas. And so once again, there's different patches, I'm assuming, throughout the country where we're going to have, troops ready in position. But, this is just, it's a big setup for the grand finale of how to really usher in ultimate destruction on top of. So think about this. Here's another article I'm going to share with you guys. Let me see here. This is this right here is something. So here we have an economist / big money man saying, brace for a fairly scary time on Wall Street. And so his 2 reasons why he's saying brace for a scary time on Wall Street is the fact that there's 2 uncertainties. There's as he says, the increase in cases and the election results. So he's like, either one of those 2 will be the reason why Wall Street is going to be struggling in the next couple of weeks. So that's already baked into the cake. And so isn't it just interesting how all this stuff coincides together to equal one big chaotic transition into that next world order? At the same time, we got the IMF talking about the need for a new Bretton Woods moment, and we got the Great Reset orchestrated by the World Economic Forum and all those other entities. So man, this is the plot of the story is thickening right now, and it's starting to come together to where we can see a lot better, I think. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, Mike. This is Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum.
Okay. How you doing, my friend?
And you and your viewers are expressing concerns with the Great Reset.
Yes, we are.
I am calling to alleviate your concerns and answer your questions.
Okay. So just the idea of the Great Reset, why would an organization actually name it a Great Reset, and what's all in, and the things that's all encompassing in that reset is something that a lot of people may not necessarily feel is best for humanity.
Best for humanity. What does that mean?
Well, we have.
Do you like owning things? Then you could rent them from us.
ownership is one of God's greatest gifts to man, the ability to create and to own and have the right of actually possessing something that you created and that you have the say so over. Like who would not want that? Why would I want to rent?
Well, we agree. That is why we own it all.
Okay, so give me the benefits out of this great economic reset.
You will have to pay me rent for everything you have.
Now, if I don't have a job, how would I get money to pay you?
We'll print it and give it to you. It makes no difference.
Okay. Hey, if that's the type of world you are comfortable with, have at it, my friend. Enjoy yourself. I think I'll opt out of that one, but I appreciate you.
No, Mike, I agree with you. But one thing with the tanks, they rolled the tanks out in March.
Yeah.
And you know what? Nobody did anything. They didn't need them.
Yeah.
So why are they going to need them now?
Because based upon the amount of destruction that is, I guess, wanted or needed to really escalate this further heading into the new year, all those paid groups and organizations that's out there to burn and loot and riot, they're going to use them as a cover to, I guess, position as a defense mechanism against those paid groups at the same time. So you got two paid actors out there. You got the paid military boots on the ground, and you got the paid actors out there together until somebody do something for real and some real bullets start flying, and then either that was a part of the plan or it wasn't. Like that's how I can see it playing out. Like if it's supposed to be scripted up until some point, until somebody actually does something that's not a part of the script, then all hell breaks loose and it goes from a drill to real world situations.
Well, let me ask you two questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
As a nation or the first world Europe, do you believe that we're morally bankrupt?
Morally bankrupt, yes.
Do you believe we're financially bankrupt?
Yes.
Do you believe the outcome of the election will change that?
No.
So those are very straightforward answers, and I have no idea what's going to happen, but would you also agree the damage has already been done?
It has been, yes. But it
has been.
It has, but see, it has been, but it's just, I guess eventually, like, because my personal opinion is that this is going to be one long, drawn out, orchestrated transition to whatever the next world looks like for us. But it's one of the things where, apart from having to get used to it, I don't want to, just condition myself to just expecting them to continue to usher rules. And like right now in Michigan, like you can't go in a restaurant without them taking your name and stuff down. Like I don't, what I'm saying? So I'm not supposed to go out and eat now because I don't want them to have my name and number and my birth certificate and all that other stuff as well. So it still impacts me regardless, to where I'm not just like overly comfortable with it. I don't want to just settle and just like, okay, just, I can't do anything about it. Oh, well, I'm going to still resist as much as I can with my own little ways, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask you a harder question, because I think we all struggle with this.
Okay.
We don't talk about the health crisis because we're not allowed to, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll leave it at that, but I'm just saying, I ask myself this question. How far does it have to go before you throw caution to the wind and you take real risk and stand up to it? I think we're all struggling with that in our own way.
Yeah.
We're all protecting ourselves at the moment.
Yeah.
But when are the chips really on the table?
And so I think, and I could be 100% honest with you, and it's that build up between optional and mandatory. You know what I'm saying? Like as that optional, don't worry about it. It's not mandatory. Okay. Yeah. As it's optional now for a lot of things, ultimately, before it becomes a mandated law to where you do it or else. And that's in between now and then is when it's going to be like, stand your ground, now, it's going to get real, to where I think more people will wake up to realizing that neither one of the parties are really, out to, really help you at all. It's all about the overall agenda. And, when things go from optional to mandatory, that's when the game changes, I think.
Both parties are owned by the same people in every country in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man.
But the only thing I'll point out again.
Yeah.
The tanks were positioned in March and April.
Yeah.
Everyone showed the videos. Everyone in our subculture saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And I am kind of saddened that those tanks weren't needed because nobody stood up.
Yeah, well, it's a possibility they may get a second chance pretty soon. If it gets to that point.
Out.
Huh?
We're going to find out.
Yeah, we will. Hey, Pete, man, I appreciate you. It took me a minute to catch on. But hey, that's a way to shake things up, man. I appreciate you for calling in.
Anything for you.
Appreciate you, my man.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, be good.
Goodbye.
That was a good one, man. That was Mr. Pete from Colorado, man. He started off good. I was going to play along with it, man. But yeah, and so that's a good point, man. Good points there as always. So let's talk, man. Give me a call. Let's talk some more. Let me see here. What else I got here? A couple more articles here. And we can get to a couple more of those things.
Give me a call. Let's talk some more.
All right, let's see what we got here. Hello, caller. Which name are you calling from?
Mike, Tim, Colorado. I'm out here with Pete.
Colorado. How you doing, my man? What are your thoughts about this this planned and orchestrated chaos that's starting on November 4th, supposedly?
It's called The Purge, number 3, I think. Purge season 3.
Yeah.
We're in it.
Those were some twisted movies, man. Man.
Oh, very twisted. Very, very. Don't watch them.
The Purge.
Yeah. Great call from Pete. Great call from low blood pressure. Yeah. I love that guy. I love them both. And those were some great questions from Pete, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. When. Well, here's the deal. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, you tell me.
Yeah.
But I was listening to one podcast and rule without law. So now that we have rule by law, which is corrupt, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you defend yourself, you may end up going to prison.
Right.
So, or worse. And so I don't think it's time yet. Mm-hmm. It's premature to do anything.
Yeah.
We have to wait. We have to wait until it's obvious. Otherwise, we're going to be prosecuted and look like the bad guy. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I think no matter what, just having a different opinion or challenging the supposed plan or agenda that's positioned from the governing authorities will be considered as rebellion, as well as you'll be a dissident, you'll be, a terrorist to the state. I mean, so and that's where, like, that's, and I believe that's down the line, but it's just it baffles me how people think that this is going to be a temporary blowover. Like, there's been a lot of people who bought into all this that think that once the vaccine is here, then we going back to the old norm. And just like we got Fauci coming out saying that, there's no chance of getting back to the old norm until 2021 after the vaccine. I'm thinking like, huh? But it's people to think like that. And that's what just troubles me, because it's those individuals that are the majority, I think. And they're going to be the ones that buy in. And the ones that do not buy in will be the ones that we'll be the bad guys, because we just don't believe it. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
Man.
Yeah, but hey, Mike.
Yes.
There's a time to stand. There's a time to die.
Yeah.
And all we can do is what we think is right, and we know what's right. And I don't know, man. Let's go back to the higher power, because I guess that's where it ends up.
Yeah. Hey, put your trust and faith in the Lord, and let's keep on riding, man. But hey,
yes.
Good to hear your voice. Yeah. Also, man, next time we have a live chat, won't you call in, man, and hang out with us, do some video chat with us?
I'll try. I just got a new phone, so I might be able to. I'm not too great at that.
Yeah.
I got Duo, but you're doing it on
Zoom. It'll be usually on Zoom. So you just download Zoom app, click in, set your camera up, turn it sideways, and hang out with us. So we'll probably have one next week after the election.
Yeah, I'd love to talk with you and low blood pressure. By the way,
you
should do more of those multi-screens.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, I will, man. It's just a matter of orchestrating it and trying to set it up. But I got you. All right, be good.
Are you going to do anything for the Tuesday night?
It's too early to tell, but we'll see. I'm gonna try. I'll see. It's a possibility. I never say no.
All right.
I'll keep you posted.
The Rogue News is going to do something, and Joe Rogan. So
okay,
you can compete.
That sounds good, man. All right, we're talking to you.
All right.
Yep.
Bye. Love everybody.
Yeah, man. Good stuff, man. Good to hear everybody's voice, man. Okay, so let me take care of a little maintenance real quick while we at it. So what I want to do is to bring to everyone's attention, on Monday night, I'm having a live stream. I'm actually having some guests joining me on Monday night. And before we get to the nitty gritty of the little Q&A on Monday night, I'm going to have my first giveaway of the Get Your Weight Up coin. And so what I'm looking to do is basically be a blessing to those that have blessed me. That's all. So for those that are in the Patreon group, if we got anybody watching, then you'll be automatically entered. And if anybody else is interested in getting some weight as well as being a blessing to the channel, all you have to do is just become a part of the Patreon. And in doing so, you'll have a chance at winning the Get Your Weight Up round. And so ultimately, and also you get a chance to be a part of the unique club called the RTD Wall of Fame. And so all my Patreon supporters, those that have been a blessing to the channel consistently, are here on the wall here. And so all you have to do is become a Patreon. You get your picture and your name up there. And if you're a business owner, I can, give you a link to the page or whatever. And then you'll be automatically drawn in there. And of course, Monday night, I'll announce the winner. And you get a chance to get some weight up. So just become a Patreon member and you can do that. So if you're interested, information is beneath this video. So, all right, let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. Got some more calls coming in. All right. Hello, caller. Which name are we calling from? I hear myself. Hello, caller. You there? Hello? All right. Going once, going twice. All right, yeah. So if you do call in, when you call in, mute the computer or whatever, so we can actually hear you instead. Okay, so let's talk. Says William says the 5G and the vaccines will be the real second wave, and then a hard lockdown. Oh man, yeah. So that's one thing we talked about before, that during the first lockdown, that gave the electrical companies and telecommunications companies all the time in the world to put up towers. Because when, after a week or two of not being actively out on the road, going around driving, I'm seeing towers that I ain't never seen before. And them boys are there. Now, I don't have a 5G phone, so I don't know if they're on or not. So I don't know if they just wait to be cut on or what. But who knows? Hello, caller. What's the name we calling from?
It's Bob from Illinois again.
Bob, how you doing, my friend? What's on your mind tonight? What are we talking about tonight?
I got to tell you something. I live in a small town in southeastern Illinois, right?
Okay.
And a town 15 miles south of me, there's a restaurant there, and you can go in and eat, no social distancing, and no mask. Okay?
Yeah.
And what this guy did, he got an attorney because he had two businesses. He had a pizza place, he had a regular restaurant, sit-down restaurant. Yeah. And they ended up closing down his pizzeria because of lack of business from the shutdown.
So he closed it down himself. He closed down his own business from a lack of business?
No. He had to close it down because there was no, the lack of income.
Yeah.
He got an attorney, and he is able to operate his business. You don't have to social distance. You don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to do nothing. It's a regular restaurant. Really? I've gone there. That started back in, I think, April or May. And I go there and eat, a couple times a month. I cook for myself most of the time, but it's so nice. Yeah. And I talked to a waitress today, and I said, how is he able to do this? He's suing the government here in Illinois. And until they answer to him, he can operate his business just like a normal business.
Wow.
I don't know why more people aren't doing this.
Yeah. More power to, most people may not know that all they have to do is put up a little resistance and challenge the government a little bit and see how far they can get with it. But, and I think like here in Michigan right now, we're being set up for a second lockdown. And so they're doing some contact tracing stuff now. But if there's a second lockdown, more people will resist, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I agree. It's coming. Yeah. We see it coming.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing. Somebody that uses their brain and goes against this pandemic. And it'll work for you.
Yeah.
And I've gone there quite a few times. It's so nice. You know, it's like you're in a normal situation.
Yeah.
Whereas most places, you feel like you're on another planet or something.
Very true. Hey, Bob, man, I appreciate you for calling again and sharing your thoughts, man. Way to check in with us again, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Take care. Thanks.
Yeah, be good.
Bye.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good to hear your voices, as always. Mr. Mark Carl Art, I appreciate the love offered to the channel, my friend. Thank you for being a blessing. All right, we got another call here. Let's see what we got here. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, yeah, Mike. Steve from FEMA Region 9.
Steve, how you doing, my man?
Hey, pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, as far as this election goes, I think you had mentioned it the other day, and I certainly agree. I don't necessarily care for either candidate necessarily, but I voted for Trump for because it's a matter of, like you said, who's going to speed it up, who's going to slow it down. To the new world order, I think Trump's going to slow it down versus Biden's going to take off out of the gate like he's in the Triple Crown.
Yeah, I don't even think Biden will be even informed as to the legislation and the root and the game changing they're going to do on his behalf. So he's just going to probably sign a signature, do some photo ops. They're not going to tell him. Whereas I've witnessed people speak around Trump where they didn't tell Trump what they're going to say at the podium either. He was confused. So I know Biden, they're going to go right past Biden. So.
Hey, and another thing too. Have you heard of this Chase coin that came out the other day or something?
The JPM coin?
Yeah, they did something with a coin. I don't know all the specifics on it, but
yeah, they're in the game now.
Go ahead.
No, so JP they announced the project last year, and I guess officially it's been rolled out, and they've partnered with some people, and they got their first transactions going or something like that. So. Yeah, the first, which is one of the biggest too big to fail banks happens to be leading the way as far as the publicly announcing their own, blockchain or coin or whatever it's called. So I'm not surprised at all. And so JP Morgan went from talking against Bitcoin to now I got an article here saying they're praising Bitcoin. So yeah, not surprised at all. Now the question is, how and what, what currency will it be denominated in? Is it denominated in Federal Reserve dollar note still? Is that coin still denominated in gold and dollar? And how long will they be able to use that, as well as the Federal Reserve and the Treasury coming out with the other, dollar coin, the digital dollar? So I wonder how they're going to sync all that together. It's going to be my question.
Yeah, that's true. And it does look like that. It does also look like that we are at the crossroads where basically the average citizen is going to have to make a stand at some point if things continue the way that they are.
Yeah.
So it, like one of the callers said, or like Morgan Freeman said in the movie Shawshank Redemption, get busy living or get busy dying. You just can't have anarchy out on the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody come to my house, they come into the wrong house.
Yeah. I imagine a lot of people can say that same thing. Like, you don't be the one that, don't be the one made an example of. So, Oh my goodness.
And then your governor is worse than ours out here in California. I hope the people of Michigan do not even think about cooperating with going to a business, giving up your ID and your phone number.
Yeah.
Walk away from the business.
And that's the thing. Like there'll be is the option would be then $1,000 fine, and then of course might lose your license if somebody continue to contest it. But it's one of those things where they can make all the policies they want, but it's the enforcement aspect. They're not going to be able to enforce it to all the Michigan businesses, equally or evenly. So it's one of the things where people will walk in, they might just like lacklusterly just say, "What's your name? What's your number?" And you give them anything you want if you even give them something, but it's no way of enforcing that, man. I don't think nobody's gonna stick with that. So it just goes how far. It just shows how far they're willing to go to see what they can throw out there and see if it sticks or not. But I don't think Michiganders are fall for it, man. But we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah, because California is not even doing stuff that crazy, not yet anyway. I was surprised to hear that when you said that.
Yeah.
That Michigan is trying to do that.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, hey, the other thing too is, did you ever get to watch that video? That Canadian whistleblower video? Did you actually get to watch that yet?
I started and I forwarded somebody to watch it, but I didn't get a chance to finish it. So I still have it on one of my other screens over here. So I have it because the audience did ask about it. So I put it in a comment section.
Yeah. You know, if the community if the entire community can watch it,
mm-hmm.
and then we talk about that.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that's the path that the U.S. is headed on.
Yeah.
That's the way it's looking. But
yeah.
I would like to see what the community has to say about that after they watch that.
Yeah. So
that was crazy.
Yeah. So what I'll do before I log off, I'll find the video again and I'll put it in the chat here so people can click on it and then they can watch it. And then we can talk about it probably, I'll probably come together maybe tomorrow or the weekend, give or take, and we can discuss it further because I'm curious to get people's thoughts on it. So appreciate you for sending it to us, man.
Cool.
All right. Be good. Right. Appreciate the call.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yep, you too.
Take care.
Yeah. Okay, man. Appreciate that call. So the video that Steve's referring to, it's about what's being done right now in Canada and how they are already rolling out basically the next world order for Canada. Basically just giving people ultimatums, saying, if you give up your property, give up this, give up that, we'll give you this and you can do this and you can be able to do that and you can travel freely and get your, so it's like, it's ultimately the full rollout of what they want to probably do globally. And of course the US might be the last country because we're the most heavily armed and, just population wise, because we've been living so blessed for so long, it's going to take that much more time for them to break the American psyche down to where they'll be willing to accept things like they're probably suggesting in smaller countries or especially in Canada. So, yeah. But Miller first and second says Canada is 1 year ahead of us on the digital front. No doubt. So I saw actually, let me pull something up here. I actually saw an article that mentioned that Canada already got their digital currency ready. It's just, one of the prime, I think the bank guy, whoever they're, let me see if I can find it. Okay, this might be talking about it. But here's an article here. It probably talks about the same thing, but it says Bitcoin Daily. It says Bank of Canada chief says digital currency needs global approach, Ripple eyes, whatever. So this same central bank chief or president was saying how they already have their basically their testnet ready to go. It's just right now, it's just too soon. They don't really need to roll it out just yet, but they already have something in place. So once again, they've been working on this type of stuff for quite some time because it was a part of their original plan years and years and years ago. All right. And so Philman says, what property? No citizen owns anything. So yeah, so whoever owns anything, and that's the thing, like ultimately what this boils down to is, those that are trying to orchestrate this event, removing all types of physical property. The goal is to break you down, to minimize your life to just literally probably the clothes on your back. And then they'll give you an allowance through the UBI or the UBA. And you will live in some small rinky-dink government provided estate or something like that, basically under complete surveillance of them 24/7, like the worst, the movies we see that are those, those endings where you got to fight your way to freedom type of things, those type of, what is it? What is that? It's a series of movies that I can't think of it now, but somebody mentioned it before. But yeah, anyway, let's talk some more. Give me a call. Let's talk some more. If not, we get ready to dial it back. Natural Mama says, I like to see a closed Zoom with you, with your regular and you, a solo Tony B, like a Pete, Daryl, Christopher from like Zoom could do that. Also, so Natural Mama talk about a Zoom like that, like last week, definitely possible. So the biggest thing is I noticed that in putting out the link publicly towards the end, I was canceling a large amount of spammers just calling in saying crazy stuff. So it'll be a matter of giving you guys a heads up and having it to where I'll put it on the community page for those to be able to get it. Or another big thing is I can put it for those that have not yet done so, if you go to rethinkingthedollar.com and just join the little community page there, I can put the link in there. The only people who will see it will happen to be the subscribers to that page. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. If the website loads fast enough. So here, let me see, let me put this up here. If you go to the rethinkingdollar.com, go all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see here this RTD chat room. So that's a private page. You set yourself up, and then I post and share stuff in there, as well as you can share stuff in there. Any articles you come across, any news stories, any of your favorite YouTubers or whatever, you can share it in there, and everybody in the community there can see it. So just click that, set yourself up, and you'll be good to go. So that'd be another way to do it. So we'll work it out. But what is it? We are approaching a 50-minute mark, so get ready to dial back. It was always good to connect with you guys and basically get your thoughts on what's going on in this orchestrated event and how November 4th could be a whole nother way of life for everybody. So take this last call, and then we'll get ready to dial it back. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. Nice to hear your voice. It's Typo from Massachusetts.
Typo, Massachusetts. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Hey, I have a little bit of uplifting news I wanted to share and see what the people in the chat were thinking about this.
Okay, go ahead.
So the other day I was watching, and I'm a silver person, you're a silver person, and most of your listeners are pulled towards silver as well as crypto and whatever. So the other day I was watching Beyond Mystic, and a really good psychic was on there, and she's been getting a ton of people as clients from Big Swear, who's always talking about silver and gold.
Yeah.
Well, she was not aware, personally, she as a professional was not aware of silver and all of this stuff. It just never came to her span of consciousness. And then she started getting hit with all these clients, one after another, that were telling her what's going on with silver. Like, that's what their question was. And so she was bombarded in a very short period of time with a ton of readings on silver. And then she offered to go on to Beyond Mystic to tell people an interesting thing. And here's what she said. She said, during the time that she was bombarded doing these readings, she realized that a huge amount of her clients were drawn to silver, not so they could buy a Lamborghini or not so that they could fight the government and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But that individually they were hoping that someday silver would be worth a ton and they could create a safe haven for children or create places where people could go and be safe during this transition.
Yeah.
She said a huge amount had that in common, but they were all individuals who thought they were alone. Wow. So each one would say, I wish this existed. That's why I bought my silver, because I want to do this. I want to rebuild and make a safe place for kids and make a trustworthy new community somewhere. So she came on and she said, she said she was blown away by the amount of people who all thought the same, but they were all over the world.
Yeah.
And so I'm just pointing that out because I'm curious to hear from your chat listeners if any of them have been thinking the same thing. Is that a thing rippling through our community quietly because everyone knows they're going to want a safe place where they have civil common law and they can trust their neighbors and they can be in a community, a small community, and rebuild? Yeah. So I'm wondering what your chat has to say. What do you think?
So I personally, and that's where I've heard some things about, like, I think what's his name? Bo Pony, who I've had on the show before. Bo Pony, a part of his little lectures and whatnot, he talks about, of course he used the words God's money and stuff like that, and saying that, God is putting gold and silver in his people's hands so they can flee to the mountains and, lived during the Armageddon. And so, like, you know, a lot of the, you know, he puts a lot of biblical things in relation to crypto and gold. So from that, you know, I personally, I would love to be a part of a community of like-minded individuals in which we are able to have our own stable, you know, little economy. I would love that. My thing is, given the fact that we're up against such a behemoth of a monster that's like trying to globally right now suppress and to kill and to steal and destroy, I find that to be very extremely difficult to do outside of God's provision and his direction. So the Lord is capable of doing anything, and definitely, you know, he always takes care of his own. So I do believe that, you know, God's children will be okay amongst all this, but being able to come together as a group in a certain area and live happy ever after, or that type of thing. I haven't been shown anything in my spirit just yet. So, you know, I'm open to hear from the Lord on that matter.
I'm with you. You know why? Because when you think about it, we needed a long time to absorb this information, figure it out, get on social media. You needed a lot of time to just go through all the stages of learning before you could start a talk show.
Right.
So it seems to me that we are guided very quietly, individually, to get our crap together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in years, if you talk to people, they've been doing this for years, getting ready, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And so a lot of people have been, and that's where people who were considered preppers, they were crazy years ago. But, you know, as of right now, I got an article I'm putting on the screen here, and where it talks about, you know, a second wave. So right now, you know, a lot of the food retailers now they're stocking up extra because they've saw a ramp up, and it says, you know, second food stockpiling wave is here with 3,400% pantry surge. So people out here right now preparing for something. So it's no longer crazy to be a prepper. So, yeah.
Yeah, right. In fact, now I just saw a video of Hawaii or Maui. I can't remember which island, but to get in line for the free food from a church, the guy was videotaping the line, and he went to the first person in the line and said, "When did you get here?" And the guy said he had been there 2.5 hours, and he was the first person in line.
Wow. And he was still in line. So that goes to the line either wasn't moving, or, you know, that boy was much longer before he got there. So, wow. Hey, man.
Yeah, exactly. Around the corners, around the neighborhoods, this line went for it was a whole video where the guy was like, "Look at this line. I'm going to find out how long." So the first one in line, the place was not open yet. Yeah. And he got there 2.5 hours early so that he could be there early. So that's, I think that's the lesson of prepping, right? Yeah. God likes the prepper.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, so here's the thing is, because we've been just a right on time, or like a just now type of, you know, mindset, because you can always go around this corner and go grocery shopping every day. We've gotten away from being able to actually, you know, have a reserve of anything. Everything is always right there when we want it, as opposed to having a little something on the side just in case. So, well, we're going to get back to that. We're going to learn the hard way, unfortunately, but it's here now. So people are, you know, waking up and, you know, no longer putting things off that they should be putting on right now. So, but hey, Typo, I appreciate you for calling in. Also, you know, doing a drawing for the Patreon community. So, you know, you're in there. So, you know, good luck on the drawing for the Get Your Weight Up round.
Thank you. You know, I was on your Patreon and I loved it. And I had to get off for financial reasons, but I will regain when things are better. And the other thing I wanted to mention is I'm a near-death experiencer, so I'm guided very much by spirit. And I asked to give me lots of time because I have kids and I have other things to do. So guide me and give me extra time. Yeah. And probably about 8 years ago, I started tapping into all of this law and all of what's been going on. So we're well prepped here, but I'll tell you that Massachusetts in general is still fighting it. They're fighting it. They're irritated. Their neighbors are irritated. And I don't see a lot of prepping here. So you have a great role. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Appreciate you as well. Be good. Thank you. Yeah, boy. What a great night. What a good night of hanging out and getting a chance to go back and forth. So, All right, we are at the hour point, so I appreciate everybody for hanging out with me. If you've enjoyed the opportunity to interact with the chat as well as to call in and to get a little alternative viewpoint as to what's going on, hit that thumbs up button right beneath the video here, show your support. And then also for those, again, that might have came in late, doing an RTD Get Your Weight Up giveaway. So if anybody's interested in having a chance at winning some weight, you know, just become a member of the Patreon and join the RTD Wall of Fame. And you'll have a chance to have your name drawn on Monday. I'm going to do it Monday before a live stream. So other than that, everybody, it's been great hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed the back and forth. Let's do it again another day, another time. Be blessed, be safe. Peace. Hey there, sorry for this interruption, but I wanted to bring something to your attention. If you've been enjoying this live stream, why don't you partner with me and be a support to the channel via Patreon membership for just a minimum of $5 a month. All you have to do is scroll down beneath this video here, click the Patreon link, then consider donating as little as $5 a month towards the channel. A little bit of crumbs can go a long way, and I appreciate your support. Now, let's get back to this live stream.